Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we take your questions and your about life and about money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Aaron is in Gainesville, Florida. Hi, Aaron. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Rachel. I'm so glad I get to talk to you guys. This is great.
Honored to speak with you, sir. How can we help?
Awesome. So I'm 23 years old, and I'm currently a graduate student. They pay for my tuition and everything, so I'm not taking on more debt. And I get paid $25,000 a year as a stipend. I have $37,000 worth of debt from my undergrad, and I do DoorDash on the side sometimes too, so I probably made a little more than $25,000 last year. But anyways.
What are you studying?
Aerospace engineering.
Good for you. Well done.
Yeah. So I have to clarify, I'm not completely following your biscuit recipe to a T. I have been trading in the markets over the past few months, and I'm very lucky to say that as of this morning, I profited $47,000 in GameStop stock, and I cashed out of it completely. I currently have an ACH transfer on the way to my bank, and I'd love to wipe out that $37,000 worth of debt. But I am a natural spender, and I've never seen this much money in my life. So I'd like your advice on what to do with the rest of it.
So you don't follow my advice about investing, but you want my advice on what to do with the money you made when you got the luckiest hit of your freaking life.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It is very risky.
How much did you invest to make 46 on GameStop?
It was about $5,000.
Wow, I'm so glad for you, and I'm really glad you got out. I'm really glad you got out, because the guys are gonna take a spanking on this before it's over. But because obviously the capitalization at this current rate is not, the company's not worth anywhere near that. It's lost money for 2 years, as you know the story. So,
right,
yeah.
How many years left, Aaron, do you have in grad school? I'm just curious.
It's about 3.
3 more years.
And how are you? And you got this fellowship all the way through with the stipend and everything?
What's that?
You have the fellowship all the way through. You mean you have
Correct,
the stipend and the scholarship all set up all the way through?
Yes, and there's a potential I get a raise, but it's dependent on a few factors. We'll see what happens.
Okay. My normal answer would be set the $46,000 aside, let your student loans lay there to ensure that you finish grad school without any debt. But with your misbehavior patterns, your tendency to spend and to gamble, I'm probably going to just pay off your student loans, and that way it won't get away from you.
Okay.
Right. What I like to do is I like to look at myself in the mirror and say, these are my weak spots. What kind of system can I put in place to offset my weak spots? And I just called yours out. And the system would be paying off the student loans. So either one of those answers is going to be fine. And you've got the same problem that Rachel had when she hit good on the craps table. She's addicted,
I'm not addicted. I do love craps, though.
Oh, yeah.
So
once every 3 years, people.
Yeah.
Once every 3 years.
But I mean, and Rachel's mom hit with some quarters on the slot machine one time and made $50 on the cruise one time, and it cost me $500 before she quit putting quarters in there. So that's the problem. That's the problem you got, because 78% of the day traders lose money, and you just got caught in an iconic story and made bank. I mean, you made 10x. I'm really glad for you. I mean, I'm not wishing bad things on you.
Because you can use this and in a snap, advance your future financially. I mean, like you could be on baby step 4. I mean, because you use the rest to put in your emergency funds. So like look at this GameStop stock as taking you to baby step 4 automatically.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then go back to the old school. Okay, we're going to invest. We're going to be wise over the long term. Because that's what it is. Okay, explain.
Okay, so the deal is when you do day trading, 8 out of 10 people lose money. It's that simple. It's a high-risk play. It literally is walking up to the craps table and dropping $4,000 on there, $5,000 on there, and you hit and you walk away with $46,000. Does that make that a good idea? No, it does not. Just because you beat the system one time. And the danger is when you beat the system one time, you think you've got the recipe.
I'm great at craps. And that's what I believe.
Yeah, that's what you believe. And it's a roll of a dice. Nobody can be good at it. It's not even a skill game. So there you go. Yeah, hot hands with the dice. There's a way to hold
the dice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jeez. See, there you go. This is the problem with it right here. So what's happened with GameStop, for those of you that don't know, there's a group of guys and gals on Reddit that do some investing, some day trading. And GameStop is a game company where you go and buy video games. Physically walk into a store and buy a video game. And most video games are now downloaded. And so their business model is Blockbuster. After Netflix came along, they're screwed. And they've lost money the last 2 years, and they're projected to lose money for the next 2 years. In other words, they're projected to go out of business. Their stock was trading down around $20, and a bunch of big fat cats on Wall Street started shorting the stock, which means taking a position betting that the stock was going to go down, and they make money if it goes down, which is a pretty safe bet because the thing is imploding, and the company's not even worth $20 a share in its current state. And so these, hedge fund fat cats are doing this. So these guys on Reddit, which are they're fun. They're a bunch of rebels. And they decide we're going to get together and we're going to screw over these hedge fund guys. And so they all start buying GameStop stock and run the price up. And they ran it up from $20 to $500 a share, which screwed the fat cats because that short positions, all those margin calls came in and they lost their butts, probably lost $1 billion on it. The Wall Street fat cats. And so these young they're little Reddit revolutionaries is what they are. They're fun, but and they, some of them have made some money. This guy made money. Made $46,000. Way to go. That's awesome. But I mean, just because you hit it, you go into the market and you take a lotto ticket and you scratch and you make $50,000, that does not make that an investment strategy. That means you were so lucky that, you beat all the statistical odds, and you don't want that to be your investment strategy. So don't follow this weird little moment in time and make it your new retirement, your new plan. A wealth building plan. It's how much money I put in GameStop? Zero.
I know.
I don't do this stuff.
Let's talk about single stocks and stuff when we come back, though.
Okay.
Just for questions. Right. Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of fun to watch the little guys knock out the big fat cats and give them. But some of you little guys...
And AMC is talking right now.
Yeah, they're messing with some other companies. AMC's losing their butt because movies are so yesterday.
AMC stock's doing...
And so, unbelievable. And yeah, so guys like Aaron got out in time. You guys are still screwing around with it. You're going to take a spanking if you don't get out of there. This thing's going to give you a spanking. It's coming. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and best-selling author of the new book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money. Discover why you handle money the way you do and what to do about it. Jump in and check that out. It'll change everything on the way you look at things, and that's very, very important. So let's continue that discussion. We don't usually do that many teaching segments in a row, but I think it's good to do this because this is such a hot topic right now. The GameStop stock. But what it illustrates is whether it's the lotto, whether it's playing single stocks, whether it's gambling and playing the roulette wheel or craps or whatever, there's a thrill that comes with the risk that releases the dopamine and releases the proteins and the enzymes into your body, and that's why gambling is addictive.
Yeah.
And because there's literally a flood of
it's adrenaline.
Your body creates a flood of drugs, adrenaline and other things, and a physical reaction in your body when you're doing this. So these guys are having a rush right now, riding this little thing they've created. They really are, and it's not a little thing; it's a big thing. I mean, they are doing this. But what you can't do is confuse that get-rich-quick thing with the mentality that, get rich quick or get rich easy, suddenly, without effort, with an actual plan to become wealthy, because there's no evidence anywhere in any data that shows that people starting from, nothing, like I did, and becoming wealthy, did it using that mentality. The get-rich-quick mentality instead leads you to buy nothing down real estate and you go broke.
Yeah.
Me. I did that. Okay? Or leads you to play single stocks or day trade or Bitcoin, or that's what's driving this. A lot of these things are gambling, playing, gambling on football games.
Sports.
Big
yeah,
sports gaming is a huge, mammoth industry now.
Yep.
And it's all the same thing. I'm trying to find an easy way to make a lot of money quickly. And the problem is that not only the philosophy of that is bad, the theology of that is bad, but there's no data to back up your plan. There's no one that does it and it works out. And that's what scares me.
Yes. People put all their eggs in that kind of basket, right? And they're thinking, if I could just figure this out, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be okay. And the pattern shows over history, it's not. Building wealth,
not going to work.
We say it all the time. It's boring. But majority of millionaires in that study that we did here, 8,000 millionaires or 10,000 millionaires, they were millionaires because they had a paid-for home and a great 401k. They've invested over over a long period of time. So over
none
time,
of them said they made it with options, puts, calls, playing commodities.
Right.
And
it's not as exciting, but it's okay. So tell me this, because people do ask a lot, or ask me, hey, gosh, I kind of want to get into single stocks, or I enjoy gambling. Is that okay? All of that. Here's my philosophy. Tell me if I'm wrong. When your mindset is, hey, I am doing the plan, I'm going to continue to invest in my retirement. My overall philosophy is this. Now, if you want to take some money and think, okay, I'm going to Vegas, I want to gamble some, and having the mentality that money, instead of buying a concert ticket or instead of doing an experience, that this
comes out of your entertainment envelope, not your investment category.
That's what I was going to say, though, is that you have the emotional capacity to say, if this money is gone, it's fine, because I'm just doing it for entertainment.
Yes,
I'm not doing it to build wealth. Yep.
But
would you say the same with single stocks? If someone's like, I just want to take a few $100 and kind of just play around with single stocks because it's fun.
The problem is it's okay to do it, but you just got to guard your mind and your heart to say, why is that entertaining? What is it? What's happening inside of me that makes losing money entertaining? Because that's what you're going to do. You're going to come home
with Rachel in Vegas.
You're going to come home without the money.
Yeah.
Nine times out of 10.
Right.
And that's why we're calling it entertainment. Right. Because it's not a legitimate investment vehicle. Okay? Because it doesn't have any data to back up people building wealth using it. Now, do people get rich quick occasionally? Yeah, but they almost never keep it. So, in other words,
almost a greedy.
Well, here's an example. Okay, what if you said, okay, I'm going to buy some lotto tickets because that's fun, and I'm going to buy that out of my entertainment envelope instead of my investment category. Okay, and you're one of the rare people that actually do that, and you emotionally protect yourself and you spiritually protect your heart so that you don't really think you're going to win, and you hit $1 million. The divorce rate among lotto winners is tenfold the national average. The bankruptcy rate within 10 years of hitting the lotto is tenfold the national average. 10x. Now, why is it that people hit the lotto, get bankrupt, and divorce more often than those that don't? 10 times more likely. It's what's going on inside you.
Yeah.
And the very thing that caused you to think that was a valid process is the same thing that's going to cause you to be stupid again and call it a valid process. And so it's just dangerous territory. It's thin ice. And so, I mean, it is not entertaining to me to lose money. So I don't grasp the concept personally, but I'm not such a snot that if you want to go to Vegas and lose some money at the crap tables, I'm not going to be mad at you and you call that entertainment with your girlfriend trip or whatever, okay? But what you really can never allow to happen is for your brain to start to tell itself that this actually works.
Yep.
Because if you ever start to tell yourself this actually works, you are screwed.
You're in trouble.
So, single stocks included. I mean, here, let me give you a statistic. Interesting. Wall Street Journal did this years ago. They took a monkey and blindfolded it and handed it darts, and they had all the stocks on the wall, and the blindfolded monkey threw darts and picked stocks wherever the dart hit. They got 3 of the top guys on Wall Street to pick any single stock or any 3 single stocks that they wanted to pick to compete with the blindfolded monkey's dart portfolio. Of the 3 top guys on in the world on Wall Street, the blindfolded monkey beat 2 of them. He beat 2 of them. Now that's how ludicrous the idea is that you're going to screw around with single stocks and actually win. Okay? I know a lot about this subject. I intellectually, academically, been licensed in it, all this stuff, and I don't screw with it. Because I know a lot about it. Right. So, you can do it and call it fun, and you can put it in your entertainment envelope if you want to. And when people really got the Jones for a single stock, they work for a company, the company's doing real well, and they want to buy stock in their company, I always tell folks never have more than 10% of your net worth in single stocks. With the caveat that I don't buy single stocks. I don't own any single stocks, not one. I had some given to me, and I sold them. I just know. So if you want to do it, no more than 10%. Why? Because you're probably going to lose it, and you're still going to have 90% of your wealth after you lose it.
Yeah.
Or it's going to underperform.
Right.
At a minimum, whatever your little day trade, I have a trading account with my broker, so I can talk about it when I go golfing. What a bunch of crap. I bought a little Cracker Barrel today. Well, I ate at Cracker Barrel today. That makes us equal. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable, So it's just that's what's going on. It's just dangerous as crud because of the way your brain chemistry works.
It's addictive. I mean, it's all of it.
It's exciting.
Does it make you feel any better that when I went to Vegas on my girls' trip a few years ago, I had an envelope with cash that was the amount of money I was going to spend gambling. And once it was gone, it was going to be gone, and I wasn't worried about it. And then I had another envelope that any time I won, I put it in the other envelope. And then when that ran out, by golly,
you came home with your winnings.
My airline ticket.
See what I mean? This is the case study of what I tell you the problem is right here.
I evened out, and then I got a little bit more.
You did the worst possible thing that could have happened. You have the idea that you beat the system.
I'm kidding.
My gosh!
But I had an envelope. Made it better.
Yeah, that's solved. That makes it all okay, as long as you got an envelope. And you're right. Okay, obviously. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Have fun, boys and girls. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
4, 3.
Before we go to our lobby guest, I was just scanning through Twitter, something I hardly ever do these days. But I thought after our little GameStop discussion I would see. And I went down way before we even started doing the discussion. So it's pretty funny. All the guys are saying stuff like, they're making hedge fund manager jokes that how they're going to pay off all their debt after they've lost their money. Dave Ramsey's going to tell you to sell your car. Dave Ramsey's going to, it's really pretty funny. It's cute, very cute. And some idiots thought that I would actually come out on the side of the hedge fund managers. Why would I come out on the side of hedge fund managers? I'm actually not on any of your all's side. I just spent 30 minutes telling you not to do what any of you were doing. So, but it's still fun to watch the whole drama unfold.
Yeah.
And I'm glad some of you little guys made money. That's awesome. I'm never against somebody making money. I'm just against you doing it in a way that causes you to lose it later and continue in bad systems. Kenneth and Libby are with us in the lobby.
Yes.
Speaking of winning. Yeah, right here on the debt-free stage to do your debt-free scream. Where you guys live?
Amarillo, Texas.
All right.
Awesome.
And welcome to Nashville. How much debt did you guys pay off?
We paid off $105,694 in 32 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
Between 65 and 85,000.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Good for you.
Oh.
What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a hairstylist.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband is a supervisor for a check distribution center in Amarillo.
Cool. Very good. What kind of debt was this $106,000?
It was like 3 cars and 12 credit cards. And just personal loans, just really
You're
bad
kind of just
stuff.
normal.
Yes, sir.
Just like 3 cars. Who you got a teenager or something?
Well, we did. We did have a one at home when we first started. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. So what happened to you guys 32 months ago that put you on this journey?
Well, at the beginning of 2017, I had a client give me the Money Makeover book. And so I read it and I'm like, oh, this is probably my answer, because we had 12 credit cards, 10 of them were mine. And he didn't know about it until, yes.
Oh, wow.
So I read the book, I told him about it, and he's like, I don't think so. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make the change. So I got another job. Like I said, I got full clientele, and so I got a job for a salon manager at a place, and so I was working both jobs. And then in October, our friends were hosting FPU at the house. So I'm like, okay, I figured he's gonna do it because it's our friends, right? Well, he kicked and screamed until we got there in our first class. And when you hit us with scripture, Dave, he was hooked.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So what changed in you? I thought you were going to be more the nerd, but like the way you said the numbers, I was like, you know every single dollar. So I thought,
Right.
he jacked her. But the spender with 10 credit cards, you were the one that like, okay, we got to clean this up. So,
Yes.
so what hit in you? Scripture, obviously, I know, but like,
Kenneth?
what was it? Was it a level of, was it a level of conviction, or what was that feeling?
It was a feeling of not living scripturally. You know, we were more being the borrower, slave to the lender. And we were tired of being slave to this system here. We wanted to be more godly and more Christian-like. So we knew when you first started talking to scripture, it just, we had to make sure that we were living that type of lifestyle. So.
Yeah, God's
powerful.
lifestyle. I mean, as Christians, we're supposed to be like Christ. So to be like Christ, we do His word. We're obedient to His word. So
That's powerful. That's interesting. So you were, Kenneth, you were like me, I guess. You were probably just suspicious that this whole thing was like some kind of scam or something.
Yes, sir. I mean,
I would be. That's how I am.
Yes.
I immediately assume the worst. I have the spiritual gift of cynicism.
Right. Yeah, I just, to me, sometimes if it's too good to be true,
Yeah.
it usually isn't, true. So I was real skeptical. And then as we were going through it, there was just times that the light bulb would just hit on, especially we were talking about the banks and that their house was bigger. And I work at a print shop, and literally I could look out my window of my work and I could see, the big old banks out there. And I realized I lived in a $40,000 home and I had debt, and they lived in these big old 12, 20-story, buildings. And it just all came, it just clicked. And I realized I was serving this world instead of helping the kingdom of God.
Wow.
So at that point, you guys left the FPU class. So you got in the car and you're driving home. And are you both just kind of game on at that point? Like, all right, we're going to change. We're going to do something different.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, our first budget meeting when everything came out, the truth came out, and how much we really had, is when he's like, okay, well, this is not on, and he did. He said, this is not on you. This is on me because I am the leader of the house. So we're going to do this together. And we've never looked back. We've coordinated two
Thank you.
FPUs
Wow.
At our church.
You guys are probably rock star coordinators, too. I mean, this is incredible.
We like to hope so. We hope so. We want to be an example. We want to be the example for those who do take it. They're going to,
I think we're going to start a class from Kenneth on how to be a husband.
Yeah,
He's pretty incredible, dude.
That's
pretty incredible.
That's
impressive.
Awesome.
So, Libby, so you had some hidden. So talk to people out there, because this is a very real thing. A lot of people they hide their spending because they don't want to confront and have the conflict with their spouse. They don't want their spouse to judge them. I mean, like that's a very normal conversation, sadly, in America today. So what would you say to a wife or a husband out there that's listening that has hidden credit cards? They hide purchases from their spouse. What encouragement would you have to say, come clean and come together and work as a team?
Yeah, just that. I mean, get yourself a Kenneth, first of all. But it's so much more freedom when your other spouse knows that you do have all of this hidden stuff, or that you're shopping and you shouldn't be shopping, and that's new. No, I just haven't worn it before. Just stuff like, just come clean. It's so much free. Jesus comes to set us free, right?
Yes,
so why are we bounded up in chains?
Yes. So a lot of people we talk to that go through FPU, or they work this plan and they get out of debt, they say on the other end, we're debt free with no debt, and our marriage is even better. And we're like, well, it's not a marriage class, right? It's a money class. But so talk about that aspect for you guys as a married couple. What did it do to your marriage?
I would say it strengthened our marriage. It took away the division, the secrecy of it. Like for me to step up and say, hey, I'm the spiritual leader of the home, that was on me, because if I'm the leader of the home, then I should have known what was going on in the finances. And she had her own business, which, was a hair. So we had two different bank accounts, but that still wasn't any excuse not to be engaged in that. So as a husband, you need to learn to be more engaged and have the open communication so that when things did come up like this, it was easy to handle. And for me, when we did the classes, I just told everybody it wasn't her fault. It was my fault because I didn't take accountability of what was going on in the home.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you guys are powerful. That's so gentle, so strong, very, very powerful. Very powerful. Well done. So when you're leading the class, you paid off $106,000 in 32 months. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank
well
you.
done. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? This is impressive.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, to be Christians, we're supposed to be Christ-like. So what does the Lord say about money? What does the Lord say about debt? We're not supposed to be slaves to the lender. We are supposed to give and not, we don't need everything that we think we need. The best car is the best. He wants us to have good things, but not where we go into debt.
Amen.
So being obedient to the word. That's the key for us.
Yes.
We wanted to be better Christians.
Yes, ma'am.
I do too after meeting them.
Man.
Hey, we have a strong foundation. Our church is awesome, and our pastor actually wants to do you don't call it momentum anymore.
Yeah, church-wide though.
Yeah, he wants, and so he is. We are in the process of doing that.
Oh, great. For Ramsey Plus, yeah.
Yeah, our kids called us. My youngest son has a wife.
Let's do debt-free scream.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
I'm about to run out.
Okay,
I just snuck up on me. I love talking to y'all. All right, $106,000 paid off in 32 months, making 65 to 85. Kenneth and Libby, count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Well done, you guys. Man, they're powerful. Wow, what a neat couple.
So great.
Oh.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you want to be them when you grow up, we'll help you. Wow. Yeah, way to go, guys. And leading financial peace in Ramsey Plus still. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Four, three.
So many years ago, I was invited to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show, back when she still had her show. And it was a big deal because if you got on Oprah and she extended her scepter to you and gave you the nod, your book would sell 1 million copies. I mean, she had an amazing power in the publishing world for selling books. And so getting on there was like a dream come true. And so we worked for weeks and weeks working with their team, and they laid out a 52-page script, and we were going to work with 3 different couples on 3 different money problems on the show. And of course, I got with them ahead of time and learned a lot about their stuff, and then I was to come on the show and give them advice on the particular situations. And it went pretty well through the first 2, or through the first one, and then the next one was a guy, his wife had hidden $78,000 in student loan from him that he didn't know she had. And my contention was, obviously, it's bad for her to lie and have hidden and deceived her husband. No question about that. No, you should never deceive your spouse. That's not a thing. But I said also, part of this is on him because he's not engaged enough in his own household to know that $78,000 had gone through your house and you didn't know it happened. And she was in charge of the money, and he was just making money, and so she did whatever the flip she wanted, including this. And so it was in the script, and Dave says, and Oprah reads that, and she goes off on me. She got pissed. She's like, that is absolutely not right. It is not his fault. She shouldn't have lied. And he delegated the handling of the money to her, and then she just misbehaved. And I said, well, that's a lot of that's true. But on the other hand, in a marriage, you're supposed to be engaged enough in your life to know what the flip's going on as the husband or the wife.
Yeah.
Either one of you need to know what's going on. Kenneth just talked about that. That's what made me think about it. And she just went on and on and on and on. I said, listen, this is not a joint venture. It's not a business. It's a marriage.
Yep.
And now you are one. Well, her audience clapped. Well, then she even got madder because they took my side. It didn't go well. I didn't sell any books because I questioned Mother Nature.
Oprah's pretty powerful. I'm not gonna lie. And that's the idea. And it's amazing to me how many women I talk to long for their husbands to care. They want their husbands involved. They're like, how do I get my husband on board? Or how do I get him to care? How do I have him start, helping me pay off debt, right? I mean, and the husbands say this about wives as well. I mean, it's the
goes
inverse.
both ways.
But I do hear that for women. And so there is a call to you men out there, you husbands out there.
Kenneth, man, he's going to teach a class on
just stepping in, and that's loving your family so well that both of you have a say. It's not that one doesn't have the other, right? You're a team in this. You both lock arms and you say, okay, we're in this together. But when there is a level of unity, and I can speak as the woman, when a husband comes in and says, okay, let's do this together, there's just a safety there. There is. And so gentlemen, it's a challenge to you. Step in if you're not. Step in. Because your wife probably longs for it. It's exhausting and it's lonely if you're doing it by yourself.
Well, even if you're the one that's the administrative one who's actually probably going to do most of the actual money work, just to emotionally and spiritually carry the weight together.
Yes.
In your case, Winston is the nerd. He's the one that runs the stuff just because it's his nature and it's not your nature. Another household might be a different way. And so, either way, no one needs to be carrying this stuff by themselves. It's not fair. It's not efficient. It's not practical. And it does not give you the result you want.
And to that point, just to extend it, to clarify, and that means it's the emotional, it's the conversations you're in it as a team. Now, who actually writes out the bills or takes the bill and takes it out of the checking account, right?
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, the logistical side, whoever wants to do it can do it. But the fact that we're making decisions together, we're talking about money, we have unified goals. I mean, all of that.
Agreeing on a budget. No, nothing is hidden.
Yep.
All of that. A lot of this is covered in Rachel's new book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, and you can get in there and know what your tendencies are, what your spouse's tendencies are, and it gives you a platform to have a discussion and increase this communication. They were just a beautiful couple.
Oh, they were wonderful, yes.
Their spirit was just incredible.
Yep.
I mean, both of them. And wow, just powerful. All right, Elizabeth is in Huntsville. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Rachel. Thank y'all so much for answering.
Sure. How can we help?
So my father passed away in June of 2019 pretty suddenly, and he was an only child, and he took care of my grandmother, who is widowed, took care of pretty much all of her finances. And in the process of all of that, he kind of got himself into some financial trouble himself and was kind of, I hate to use the word stealing because she knew about it, but she didn't want to say she knew about it, using her money because he was attached to her bank accounts. So he kind of had, that kind of ties into the story, but after he passed away, she lived 2 hours from us, so she kind of was alone. I've got 2 small children. My sister doesn't live here. My brother's a teenager, so she kind of ended up with this caretaker who we don't really know where she came from. She's super sweet, seems genuine, as good as gold, but my grandmother has a lot of money. And she has this woman who kind of takes her around, takes her to her doctor's appointment.
How old is your
my grandmother?
grandmother?
Has lupus. She is in her late 70s.
And what's a lot of money?
I don't know how much, but
10 million, 100,000.
Up to, I would say between 2 and 5 million.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of money. I'm just making sure I knew what that meant. Okay.
Yeah, well, and we...
So what are you going to do about it?
I was the executor of my father's estate, and so I kind of course, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but somebody's got to do it. I have kind of talked to my grandmother. Like, she has made comments, about it being our inheritance. And I hate to think of it as my money. I did not work for that money. But
that's not the point. The point is you don't want her to get messed over by somebody who snaked their way into an old lady's life.
Right. And so she has actually said something to me about being the executor in passing. Well, I waited again until we were alone and said, so were you serious about that? And she said, well, yeah, I would like for you to help such and such with those kinds of things. So I found out that this
Elizabeth,
woman
we're running out of time. You're going to have to get to the point. What's your question?
I'm sorry. What do I need to, how should I approach her? Like, without making it seem like she's making a terrible decision.
Yeah. Number one, Grandma, I don't need any of your money. I'm just worried about you, and I smell a rat. I love you, and I want to walk with you and help you in any way I can. I think this lady may be okay, but I also am very, very worried about her having an undue influence over you, and I don't want you to get taken advantage of. I don't need any of your money. You can leave it all to a charity. But I just don't want you to be taken advantage of. So how can I help you prevent that? Because, Granny, I'm worried about you.
Okay. Yeah. That's our biggest
add anything to
That's
that?
it. No, I mean, I think being open and honest, Elizabeth, and as straightforward as possible in a loving way is going to be effective because and see how she responds. See what she says, and it may take her a day or two to chew on it.
Yeah, I think people in your family are classic Southern wonderful people like me, and we think being nice is necessary to get into heaven, and it's not.
Well, and
you're too dadgum sweet. You're going to have to get to the point.
Yeah.
You're too sweet.
Yeah.
You're trying to make everybody happy, and it's just like sweet tea. You're just like sweet tea, honey. You're just the nicest person, and you don't want to make anybody mad. You don't want anybody to have their feelings hurt.
And that's you?
That's me. That's me. I'm the same way. I'm just the sweetest little thing. I'm just the sweetest little old thing.
Sweetest
that's
day.
me.
Sweetest
now,
day.
you're going to get to the point and hurt somebody's feelings for their own protection. That's me. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. We are taking your calls about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Dr. John, I was listening to your podcast. And listening to you take a call about a serious marriage situation where the wife was having an affair. And you were giving her husband some advice on that and walking through it. And you get into life questions like that all the time. And one of the things we have discovered, obviously, many years ago, and we've got you now here to help us address it, is that marriages all can use a date night, especially right now, an evening to come together. So we are announcing today a great date night. Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney are going to be doing a money and marriage streaming edition, the Valentine's edition, the third time we've done this. So Dr. John Deloney and Rachel Cruz, money and marriage streaming live February the 12th at 7 p.m. And they're going to guide you and your spouse through an unforgettable evening where you realign your goals on your marriage, learn healthy communication. And early bird passes for the money and marriage live stream are on sale right now, $20. They won't last long, so earmark that $20 in your February budget. Get over to DaveRamsey.com/events. Get your tickets. Again, money and marriage Valentine's special, live streamed for $20, February the 12th at 7 p.m. Y'all been working on this content. I saw you downstairs working on it today.
Yeah, and my favorite part is it's jam-packed with great information. We were all sitting around with the content folks and Rachel and I this morning, all nodding our heads. Some of us were taking notes on what other people were like, that's a good idea, right, for our own homes. And we were laughing so hard we couldn't breathe. And so this will be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a hard night, a discussion night, but it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, well, you and Rachel...
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that just spells fun right there. I'm just saying that's F-U-N, right?
We do laugh a lot, right?
Yeah, it's y'all are trouble. Y'all are trouble. You're trouble looking for a place to happen. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll learn a lot, and it'll give you some actual tools. One of the things about a Ramsey event that I learned way back with the overhead projector when I first started speaking was that money and marriage, these difficult subjects, spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Absolutely.
To quote the great philosopher Mary Poppins. And so you got to have some laughter around these subjects that have so much shame and pain and, I don't know, almost self-loathing sometimes.
Well, just it's a lot of it. I don't know any couple in my world who has not had to have a series of tough conversations over the last year, whether it's financial, what are we going to do, or whether it's, man, if I see you in this part of the house again, I'm going to set you on fire, right? It's whatever it is. And some couples have come out.
Wait a minute, John. That was a little weird.
That was
there.
pretty close, right?
Is that you just opened up? And
that may have been.
Do you
Sheila.
need to see a counselor?
Trust me. Yes. Everyone's struggling with it. And here's the cool thing about an event like this is you're going to be sitting on the couch next to somebody that you care deeply about, and we're going to give you permission to ask some questions that may be hard to ask otherwise in your house, right? And so we're going to give you. We're going to
set the table.
We're going to throw the ball for you. That's right. Underhand pitch. That's right.
Set the table.
So it'll be fun.
So always Ramsey events are a spoonful of sugar. So there's always going to be humor. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be stories, and there's always two major goals. One is we want to lift you.
Yep.
And motivate you, and also we want to give you stone cold steps of information to actually do something. I don't want to motivate you with nothing to do, and I don't want to tell you what to do without motivating you.
Right.
So we got to get both things going, and every time any of us do a talk, it's a demand I put on the personalities, and I have put on myself since I started. Because people that just do fluff and they don't tell you what to do drive me nuts, and people tell you what to do and put me to sleep.
That's right.
With a root canal, your mother's 401k meeting. I don't want to do this either. Right. So it's not who we are, and so this money and marriage event is going to be fun, funny, uplifting, and give you concrete things to do.
And in the back end, it's going to be hard, right? There's going to be some things you need to talk to your spouse about. There's going to be some challenges that we're going to give to you about your money, about your marriage, about your intimacy, about your kids, all that stuff. We're going to touch on it, and then we're going to give you some concrete steps to go make it better.
Our third annual Valentine's edition of Money and Marriage, streaming live to your home, February the 12th, 7 p.m. Central Time. Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, both Ramsey personalities, both best-selling authors, and you can get early bird passes right now for only $20. So jump online and get that before the $20 versions of these tickets are gone, and go to DaveRamsey.com/events, and you can learn more about this. It will be worth your evening. February the 12th to set you up for Valentine's weekend, Valentine's Day, and it's just the right thing to do. Money and marriage. It is this rare 1-2 punch of the number one cause of divorce in North America today, money fights and money problems. Number one things couples fight about is around that, and it's, you know, as a coach, counselor, marriage counselor pointed out one time, they're really not fighting about money. They're fighting about what it's doing. Mm-hmm. And it's power.
One of the things I noticed early on back in my practicum in grad school, when you're finally out there meeting with real clients, Dave, within 2 or 3 sessions, folks would tell me everything about who they've loved, who's broken their heart, childhood traumas. They could not, to a person, get into a discussion about how much debt they had. They could not get into a discussion about money, what their future looks like.
Their throat tightened up and their larynx wouldn't work.
Let's go back to my old boyfriends. How about that, right? Let's go back to childhood trauma. And it's just a pain point that there's just so much shame around it in our culture. And we've done such a great job presenting these curated images of ourselves that, man, once you get in there and sit on a couch and hold somebody's hand that you love, we got to do this. You got to.
And, you know, the live stream is a rare thing in that regard, because if you're sitting in an auditorium with 8,000 people, you know, you can't really just elbow your spouse to the point you break their ribs when he says that. He's talking about you.
That's right.
But you can do that on the couch at home.
Yes. But also, you can't run and hide, gentlemen. When you're in a room full of 5,000 people, you can't all go to the bathroom at the same time, right? And there's going to be some moments when you're going to feel like, I probably should go get some more popcorn, honey, right? So you're going to have to stay plugged in and stay in there, man. And it's going to be worth it. Yeah. I'm excited.
Money and Marriage, again, the Valentine's Day edition, the third time we've done this, our third annual special Valentine's edition. It is live streamed this year completely. And Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney. It is February the 12th at 7 p.m. Tickets are only $20 at DaveRamsey.com. Make sure you jump out there and get her done. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today. Tom is with us in Utah. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, it's a pleasure to chat with you. So just over the years, I've accumulated up to about $213,000 in debt, and granted, most of that is about $163,000 of that is just my mortgage, and then I've got $30,000 in a home equity loan and $20,000 between credit cards. I mean, I've heard of your program, over the years, but I figured I knew how to run my finances better. And here I am, But it's kind of how I got to this stage was basically just kind of living slightly outside my means, and it just kind of built over time. But my main question comes down to, I'm interested in your program. I want to start it, but I do. On the side, over the past few years, I've just been slowly day trading a little bit, and investing in little stocks here and there. And I've actually built up quite a bit. I originally invested from $4,500, and I've got about $23,000 in there now. And I just wanted to know what you would do with that. Whether you would just, my question is, should I just set that aside and pretend it's not there and just let it do its thing, or should I take that out and use it to, slam on some of these debts and pay some of them off and get rolling on that?
Okay. Well, the thing you've got to decide is you have to finish the decision that you've started, and then that will tell you what to do. And the decision you're making is, are you going to continue to work the plan that you've been working, or are you going to work some kind of modified version of our plan, which is your new plan, or are you just going to do our plan? And that's a decision you've got to make, and it's up to you. I mean, there's no big shame in it. The reason you're calling me is because we have a track record of helping tens of millions of people get out of debt and into wealth. And then, but the things we tell people to do are uncomfortable and strange, and they work every time, but they're uncomfortable and strange, and you feel weird when I tell you to do them because they're so perpendicular to the way you've been thinking and living. And so that's what you've got to decide. I'll tell you what to do, and then you still got to go home and make that decision, okay? So, in other words, it's kind of like, the way I look at it is like, I remember one time several years ago, I looked down and there was this thing growing on the front of me, and it was a belly. And I hired a personal trainer to come to my house. I got a little gym in my house, and my wife is in perfect physical condition. It's ridiculously wonderful because she's my wife, but simultaneously shaming. And so, zero body fat. She's ridiculous. And the guy's like giving me nutrition advice, and I'm like, dude, you're here to work me out. I don't really want your nutrition advice. So, and I go back upstairs, and she goes, you're paying the guy, and you're not listening to him. He has a six-pack, you have a keg. You got to decide, and so you got to, he's standing there, a Greek god, and I'm not, right? And so I got to decide if I'm going to do that or not. And that's I'm poking at you here, dude, but that's what you got to decide, because I'm your personal trainer and I do this and I'm the best at it, and you're either going to do this crap or not. So having said all that, I'm going to tell you what to do, and then you still got to go decide whether you're going to do it or not. I don't do single stocks. I don't do day trading. And when people start our program, we take any money that is anywhere that is not in a retirement account, and we pay off debt with it immediately to become debt-free. So that means I would pay off all your credit card debt and a bunch of your home equity loan with your day trade account, and I'd keep $1,000 set aside as your starter emergency fund. If you have any other money, I'm going to throw it at that home equity loan, and I'm going to get it attacked as soon as it's gone. With great focused intensity, I'm going to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses that is not in a trading account. It's in a simple savings account. It's not there to make money. It's there to protect you. It's your rainy day fund. Then I'm going to start investing in good growth stock mutual funds, and baby step 4, putting 15% of my income aside and working it in that order. That is the shortest distance between where you are and healthy, wealthy, and enjoying your new millionaire status. The shortest distance is not day trading. There's no data points that says it is. Just because, my cousin made a bunch of money at the roulette wheel in Vegas. Well, that doesn't matter. Right. Your cousin just got lucky once, and there's no data points that says playing roulette in Vegas is going to make you rich. Matter of fact, it makes a casino rich. That's why their furniture is nicer than yours. And so why they have a $28 million glass sculpture hanging from the ceiling when you walk into Bellagio.
It's bought on the backs of suckers.
Yeah,
right?
you suckers bought that. They didn't. That's how that works. And so you guys got to decide that and what you're going to do at that point. And so
I always feel like somebody who's that much in debt, who's also, and we hear it all the time, got a rental house or I'm day trading. It's like turning every faucet on in your house and plugging up the drain with a towel, and then heading on downstairs with a bucket trying to bail the water out, as it comes down. It just doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
Go turn the faucets off, man. Stop hemorrhaging money with the debt.
Yeah.
And then go
close the credit card accounts, swear off a debt, and chop them up, have a plastic surgery party, pay them off. And, I went broke, Tom. That's how I learned this. Because I was a nothing down real estate guy, and it took me out. I built a house of cards because I got rich quick. I did get rich, but I got rich quick, and you don't get to keep it when you get rich quick. It's he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished.
And you could have been this call saying, "Hey, over 2 years, I got this much money, man. What should I do with it?"
Yeah, I would have been. I mean, if I had called into this show at
2 years in, right,
26 years old, I would have said I have $4 million worth of real estate. I owe $3 million on it. A bunch of it is in 90-day notes, and I'm making $250,000 a year. What should I do? And I would have been told to get out of those dadgum 90-day notes because that bank is going to chop your freaking head off with those things. Right. And I would have said, oh, no, not me, because I've made $4 million worth of real estate. Bought it from nothing. Yeah. I mean, I've got $1 million net worth, $4 million minus $3 million in debt, and I'm 26 years old. Why would I listen? I mean, it can't happen to me.
Other end of that teeter-totter's got to come down at some point, right?
And I'm not saying Tom is saying all that, but that's the way your brain works when you're in these situations. And so there's so many people out there, and this GameStop story today is just fabulous for that, because these little day traders they're so fun. There's a bunch of rebels.
Yep.
And they're punching holes in the big fat cats on Wall Street, just knocking the crap out of them. But if you boys stay in that stock,
it'll eventually turn around.
When it comes back down to what that company's really worth, you're going to have taken a spanking.
Right.
So today would be your day to get out and just call yourself lucky.
Right. You had your fun.
But
you had your fun.
You won't, because you think you got it figured out now. You think you got your angle now, and now you're BA.
You can hit that dude and he'll stumble. then you better run, because when he turns around, man, he's coming back for you.
Yeah, and we're talking about life and math. We're not talking about the fat cats on Wall Street.
Right.
They're going to survive.
Right.
But some real funny stuff going around on Twitter about the hedge fund managers calling the Dave Ramsey Show how to get out of debt now, because they're deeply in debt. Right? That's funny. Like, so Dave Ramsey said, "Sell your car." So.
Oh, I saw some great ones today about the hedge fund managers with their MBAs shaking their heads as they walk to work as they got defeated by Mama_big guy 84 at hotmail.com. Like, yep, he beat you, buddy.
Yeah, today he did.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
The bottom line is they're both playing a game that is not a long-term play.
That's right.
They're both playing a risk game.
Yeah.
And they're both going to get their heads taken off.
And it feels good. You start at 4,500. It's just like you said it perfect. It's like sitting at the roulette wheel. You spin it, and sometimes you get 3 or 4 in a row, and you start sitting up taller.
Acting like you know how to spin the wheel.
You ask for another drink. You ask some people to come around, and then the casino's just counting on you to keep that money in there, right?
You must have been there when Rachel Cruz was at the craps table.
I've heard the rumors. I've heard the stories. This is going to go forever.
She actually had the audacity to say in another hour that she's good at rolling dice.
Oh, my gosh.
She said that out loud.
You're going to need to watch the Money and Marriage thing. We're going to set it all straight. That's right. Man.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Learn more today and check us out at chministries.org. That's chministries.org.
3.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Cheryl is in Chicago. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. And hi, Dr. John. I guess he's sitting next to you over there. So,
he is.
Yeah, we're good.
Hi.
Good to talk to you.
Okay, good. Good, yeah. Okay, so I'm 48 years old, and I'm a middle school math teacher.
All right.
I make $59,000 gross. I'm recently divorced and just finished furnishing my house. And I took FPU last year through my church, and I have saved the $1,000 for the emergency fund. But I do have some debt. I have a personal loan that was consolidated credit cards and my divorce attorney fees. And I have a car loan, and then I have $35,000 worth of student loans for my bachelor's and my master's.
How much was the car loan?
Right now, my balance is about $17,000.
Okay, and what is the consolidated loan?
About $7,700.
Okay, all right.
So my question is, because I'm getting up there in age, I'm kind of nervous about my retirement. I do have my teacher's pension, and then I will also be getting half of the marital property of my ex-husband's operators and laborers pension. We were married for 22 years, but I'm sure I need more. And so my question is, should I continue to do the baby steps in order, or should I sort of try to do a couple at the same time or jump around and make sure that I have sufficient retirement funds?
You're 48.
Yeah. You're trying to say
pretty
what?
Insulting that you think you're up in age
You're
and I'm
not
60.
old,
Okay,
man, yeah.
So
hey, Cheryl, I'm sitting next to an old person. You are not.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding you. All right, so here's the thing. The most efficient way for you to build wealth is to get out of debt first. So the baby steps still work. Now, what the fear that you've got of getting a late start on retirement and really wanting to build that nest egg is a good fear, in that it's going to push you to do great things and push you to sacrifice to get the debt cleared out. And so,
right, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you got $57,000. You make 50. So, I would make a plan with some extra tutoring and some other stuff. Math tutoring, you can make 25.
I do tutor. Yeah,
Good.
It's a little bit fickle right now because of COVID. There's people that commit to it and then they pull out of it because it's basically remote, since you can't meet in person. So that's been up and down this whole school year.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stack them up really high, because the good news about them being remote is you don't have to drive anywhere, so you can stack them back to back to back to back to back, and then if you got one dropout, it's not as big a deal. I'm gonna work like a crazy person and be done in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
$25,000, $26,000, $28,000 a year out of your 50, which means you're on beans and rice and beans. You're not going on vacation. There are no frills. Because I'm worried about retirement, I want to get this out of the way, because if you don't have any payments but a house payment, you can save aggressively for retirement, can't you?
Well, yeah. So right now I'm just renting a house.
Well, anything but the rental. I'm just saying the point being that when you don't have any payments except housing, you've got room in your budget to save aggressively and build your nest egg quickly, and that's what you need to do. So you go back to your Financial Peace University materials, and I tell you what, hold on, I'll have Kelly pick up and we'll put you through again. You can go into Ramsey Plus and go through Financial Peace and get in those groups that are in Ramsey Plus, the Financial Peace groups, and there's some Ask a Coach options in there too, and you get some people around you to encourage you, because you're going to get ready to engage in a very harsh level of sacrifice for 2 years to set yourself up at 50 to begin saving aggressively for retirement.
And it's going to feel extra exhausting because you're coming off the heartbreak and the pain and the exhaustion of a divorce.
Yeah.
And so you feel like, now we're just going to lay down. And no, you just swim across the channel, and now it's time to keep running because there's more lions on that side.
Yep, absolutely. Austin is with us. Austin is in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Austin, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, John. I'm in some desperate need here of some Uncle Dave advice. I've got an HOA for my townhouse that we're voting on a special assessment, and it's up for vote in the next week or two, and they're trying to charge each owner $27,000 for repairs for dry rot and mold. I'm at a little bit of a loss as to what to do or how to deal with this. I'm skeptical of the honesty of the HOA. I don't know the contractor, obviously. I talked to the HOA, the head guy over there yesterday, and he told me my best bet would be to try to contact my insurance today and try to get special assessment insurance, and they'll probably cover it. That sounds like insurance fraud to me, if I've ever heard it. And it hasn't gone through yet, but it's up for vote. And I don't know if I need to hit the campaign trail and talk to my neighbors, or if there's anything I can do about this.
Well, there's two problems. One problem if it's all true, and one problem if it's not. And so there's, if the place is falling down and you got dry rot and you got to fix it, if you don't fix it, the whole thing is going to go down in value, and you're going to lose your property value. And the fact that it's gone this far without somebody starting repairs before they got this far behind means that they've mismanaged it at a minimum. So new HOA officers and management company come on board recently?
I don't know how long ago. It was before I lived here. And I lived here 3 years.
Okay, no. So they just suddenly woke up and realized the place is rotting down. This is so strange.
Well, there's been an ongoing lawsuit. I think it's been going just before I had moved in a few years back.
Lawsuit by who?
It was the lawsuit. The HOA sued the original contractor for negligence, and they got $500,000 from that. But the bid is $1.7 million. The HOA also has $200,000 in reserves that they tell me they can't legally use for this because it's not a foreseeable issue like a roof or some kind of foreseeable maintenance.
Was this disclosed when you bought the place? They should have disclosed to you. We're in the middle of a lawsuit, and you would have a claim there.
I was not told, but I'm sure it may have been in the bottom line of the last page of some paperwork that I signed.
I'm gonna change tactics here. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell this piece of crap and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. You ain't gonna get out of this. It's a circus. Either the place is rotting down, or there's a crooked contractor involved, or an HOA that's mismanaging, or some combination of all this. Nothing in this whole deal sounds like it's going to... if you get in there and you're going to spend an enormous amount of energy auditing all of their books and auditing their processes and making sure that they're competent and that this contractor is not the brother-in-law of the manager of the HOA, and you're not getting screwed somewhere there. You're going to spend an amazing amount of energy pushing back against the tide here, only to end up with a fixed, semi-rotted townhouse after it's all said and done. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell it. Let them screw with it. These idiots. Just run.
And once they fix it, you still got the same people leading, right?
Yeah, you still got run.
They're going to knock on your door next month.
Run. That's exactly what I would do. And I hate HOAs. Ugh. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Three.
Our question today comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, new promos. Always use the magic word, the promo code Ramsey.
All right, today's question comes from Matthew in Illinois. My sister is going through a divorce. She's asking my wife and I to lend her money for a new house down payment. When the divorce finalizes, she could pay us back through joint assets she has with her soon-to-be ex. I don't like lending family money and friends money because it changes the relationships. I was wondering, how would you gently tell her no? This one's hard, Dave. I'm pretty strong when it comes to these boundaries. I'm interested. You've had this question for 30 years.
Rabbi Daniel Lapin wrote the book Thou Shalt Prosper, and he has a great line in there when it comes to people asking for your time, people asking for your money. His response in writing, like a letter, for instance, he's writing a letter response is, I would if I could, but I can't. Because my commitments to this, and this are going to prohibit me from being able to attend this meeting, whatever it is, right? That kind of a thing. And so maybe that phrasing will help us here a little bit. And it might even be I won't in this case. This is my sister. I'm going to look at her and say, I would if I could, but I won't. I could, but I won't. Because I don't think you should buy a house right now. You're coming out of a divorce. I think you should rent for a little while, heal a little bit. I think you're going to make a wiser decision a year, even 2 years after the trauma of the lost marriage is behind you a little further than you're going to make in the heat of the moment. And so I don't want to assist you in doing something that I think is going to be bad for you.
Right. And if you know anything about how the liquidation of joint assets, it's a mess. It's never what you think it's going to be on the back end of this. And I think you're right. You can come stay with us for a month. Come stay with us for a few weeks. A month's a long time. Or not. But
I'll pay for your hotel room. But I'm not loaning you money.
And you're gonna. At the end of the day, I wish there was an easier way to say this, Matthew. But you sit down and tell your sister you love her, and either you can't or you won't. I'm not going to do this. I love you. And
I don't think you should do this because I think it's unwise. I think you're going to make a much better decision a year after this is all over. Right. You'll have your own money to do it then, and you won't be making a decision during the worst week of your life.
That's right. And I want to walk through this with you. I want to love you as my sister.
Yep.
And not...
I'm your cheerleader here.
Put strain on yet another relationship of somebody close to you in the hardest moment of your life.
Yeah.
And she's not going to hear it. And it's going to be like, I needed you when the chips were down and you didn't come through for me. And at some point, you got to be okay knowing you're doing the right thing for the preservation of this relationship long term.
Yeah. Henry Cloud says that when you set a boundary with someone that doesn't have one, they seldom react well.
That's right, yeah. And here's the thing. She'll barge up against it, try to knock that boundary over, see how firm it is.
Gonna check. You can become a travel agent for guilt trips and
tell her you love her. Tell her you love her. No. And she doesn't need someone else to judge her. That's hard when you say.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But she's gonna feel it, right? You're saying, hey, this decision's a bad one. I know better than you. She's gonna hear that way, and I get that, and it's hard. But man, I'm not going to hand you gasoline in the middle of a fire. And
here's some matches.
That's all not to get burned.
Here's some matches. Light yourself on fire.
Yeah.
And I gave you the matches. So now I if you'll slow down and make a better decision, I can help you more.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're dumb or something like that. It's just no one, when they're in the middle of extreme trauma, makes great decisions.
That's right.
And if you think that divorce is not an extreme trauma, then
it's one of the worst, right? One of the worst.
Well, we went through a good divorce. I always want to go, oh, so now we know why you got divorced. It's the lying.
But I mean, off the air, you and I were just talking about, man, when you are in it, you won't think clearly. Your brain has some mechanisms to take care of you, so you're not thinking clearly. It just wants you to run or fight. And that's when, Matthew, you as her brother can step in with some hard love and some hard truth and keep her from making a tough, wrong decision here in the middle of a hurricane.
Kathy is with us in Milwaukee. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, and thanks so much for taking my call today.
Sure. How can we help?
I'm hoping you can help settle a disagreement that my husband and I are having.
Yes, I love
it. I've got the whistle, and I've got the referee's shirt on. I'm ready.
I love these. I'm team you, and Dave will take your husband. Let's go.
All right. So we're very fortunate. We are debt-free. I follow Dave Ramsey. My husband, I would say, is Dave Ramsey-ish, but we've managed to work together over the years. We recently sold a business with a sizable profit, and with a sizable profit comes capital gains tax. We have had much information from friends and others sharing their advice to us. One advice that my husband is entertaining is that we would take out a loan from a financial institution that we invest with at 3%, invest the entire amount of our profit for a presumable greater than 3% gain, and pay off the loan with the profit over a series of about 5 years. I said, I don't think that's a great idea. I do not want any debt. And he said, well, what do you think Dave would say? And I said, let's call and find out.
Ooh, Kathy Byrne.
He doesn't really know much about Dave because you completely got him, girl. I mean, you snagged him. Yeah, that was tricky on your part. You're sly.
I try.
How much is this dadgum business? How much money did y'all get?
It was multiple millions.
Multiple millions. Over 10?
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay. Still fairly nice day, huh? Good.
A very nice day.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you what I personally do in these situations. I pay my taxes and take what's left over and I live my life with it, investing it and giving it and enjoying it and whatever else I'm going to do with it. Okay? So it's real simple. There's not a chance under the sun Dave Ramsey's going to tell you to go borrow the money. And I'm going to go further. Whoever this investment company is that's suggesting this is suggesting it so that that they make more commission because you're going to be investing more because you borrowed money to not pay your taxes. And not only is their advice wrong, it's self-serving. And so I would not only pay my taxes, I would get a new investment advisor.
I love it. I love it. You validated everything I said to him.
Man, Kathy, I can feel your smile from Milwaukee all the way to Nashville. It's coming through the phone.
Yeah,
that's right. You're absolutely
listen,
right.
It's a fool's errand. I mean, to run around borrowing money in order to invest, and essentially that's what we're doing here in this discussion, or what's being suggested to you. And it's a fool's errand to listen to friends who have never had a multi-million-dollar liquidation event where they had that money laying in the middle of their kitchen table like you do. So you need to, I mean, I've had this happen. I've made that kind of money on a transaction, and I'm sitting there looking at the taxes, and...
So I haven't. So tell me, that's got to sting, right?
Oh, God. No, it doesn't sting. Like, I'm talking about multiple days it takes me to get over being pissed off having to send a check that size to those idiots in Washington, D.C.
I was just saying, man.
It melts my brain down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you just got personal, Dr. John.
Well,
now we're going to do a counseling session.
I could, for those of you not listening, the whole room just got real hot. Real hot. But I just...
Well, I mean, you think about it. Let's just say they got $4 million. All right?
Yeah.
That means they're going to be sending $800,000.
More money they've ever seen in their life. They're about to write a check.
It's their freaking money. Because they ran that business.
That's right.
Not some toadstool in Washington, D.C.
That's right.
God, so maddening. But the rich ought to pay more in taxes. Oh, shut up.
Way to go, Kathy. Now you got me in trouble.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kelly starts this hour in Colorado Springs. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, my question comes around the insurance, the term life insurance. My husband and I went through the endeavor to get insurance, and I did not get approval for insurance. And so I'm wondering, what is your recommendation going forward? I had cancer in 2017 and lost a brother at 29, and my mom has a pacemaker since she's probably been in her mid-40s. So, health-wise, I know that I'm risky, but what is your recommendation?
The pacemaker in your mom is not the deal breaker. It's the cancer from 17. And the further you get away from that with a clean bill of health, the more insurable you'll become. So your journey with Xander is not over. You just got your first.
Okay.
You just got your first no. And circle back with them and ask them to check with the underwriter and find out at what point they would look at your situation, because they can insure past cancer. Now, maybe not since 17, but maybe it's 5 years instead of 3 years or whatever, okay? So we need to learn that as a guideline, number one. Number two, the only way you're going to get insurance is where there's no medical involved, meaning you don't have to sign anything or make any statements about health, and those are called guaranteed issue policies, and they're usually small policies, and they are usually about 5 to 10 times more expensive than regular term insurance. And so where you have seen them is like if you've ever seen, like when you open up a checking account at the bank, they'll send you a thing, or your mortgage company will send you a thing that says you can buy mortgage insurance to pay off your mortgage if you die. Those are typically guaranteed issue policies. That's one of the larger ones you could buy, and you can go get that one if you've got a mortgage, which would be really helpful.
Yeah, we do have a mortgage.
Yeah, you can probably get that. Call your mortgage company and ask them if they sell mortgage life, because they love to sell it. They make a lot of money on it. It's 5 to 10 times too expensive, but it's a way to get your mortgage paid off in the meantime, and you can cancel it later. You don't have to keep it forever. If you become qualified, 2 or 3 years from now, you get a full regular Xander term insurance policy that's less expensive. You can cancel this crap. But you've seen it with your checking account, $10,000 insurance. You can just pick it up. Sometimes even on the back of a magazine, or sometimes an association you belong to with your professional career will send you something, and it's a $20,000 policy, a $30,000 policy, a $10,000 policy. Sometimes people will get 3 or 4 of those, kind of stack them up. It's an inefficient way, an expensive way to buy insurance, but at least you've got some. Meantime, you're getting out of debt and you're piling up cash and reaching towards self-insurance, so that if something happened to you, you wouldn't actually need any insurance, because the kids are grown and gone, there's a pile of cash and no debt, then he'd be okay without your income. But the mortgage life is probably the biggest chunk you could knock out, and then just stay in the game. Don't just say, well, I can never get life insurance because I once had cancer. That's not true. It's just that your cancer-free date is too recent, because, basically we all know that life insurance is priced or issued based on probability of death. So as you get older, it's more expensive. You're more likely to die if you're 60 than if you're 40, statistically speaking. And same thing if you've had cancer than if you hadn't had cancer. And so when you do get it, it's going to be double what regular term is. But it'll still be less than the other insurance I'm recommending right now.
So what is so Sheila and I, we redid our wills over Christmas. As a part of just our annual planning and discussions. And she's transitioned in the last couple of years to staying at home for a season instead of working. And what's your recommendation for like a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad when it comes to life insurance?
In a middle to upper income family, I put $400 on them.
Okay.
With the idea being that it would create $30,000 to $40,000 worth of income off of that much invested.
Okay.
To hire Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Because we got to hire Mary Poppins if something happens to Mama.
Right.
And in other words, we're putting an economic value on a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
What it would take to replace the duties that she has: driver, tutor, maid, chief cook and bottle washer, chef.
Yep. And I'm in a position where y'all would walk through that season if something happened to Sheila tomorrow. Y'all would walk through that season with me, but there's millions of men or women who have to go to work on Monday, right? I got to be there, right? Or I'm working on the clock or something. So every moment I stay home. So that's good. That's good advice. I didn't know what the number would be.
Yeah, and if let's say your household income, let's say we got a stay-at-home mom, the husband makes $35,000. Okay, well, the average household income in America is $59,000.
Okay,
so this is a lower income,
right?
A lower below average. Okay, then you probably put $250 on her. Okay. Because you would have a different level of not to say she's not as valuable at home as someone else, but you would just expect a different level of service and care from the people that you hired to come into your home.
Okay.
It's that kind of situation. So, plus I'm trying to not spend so dadgum much money on life insurance,
That's right.
if I can. That's the idea. So typically, folks, we tell you to have 10 to 12 times your income on you. So if you make $50,000 a year, either one of you, if you had 10 times, that'd be $500,000. 12 times would be $600,000. And so if something happens, the spouse has $600,000 to invest. If they invest that at 10% for round numbers, that's $60,000. Mm-hmm. And so you're making 50, you got, so you don't want to buy too much. You have to sleep with one eye open, right? But you want to have enough invested that without touching that amount, the income off of it replaces the income of the one who died.
I love it.
And that way the family can go on, and it changes everything. And the most mind-blowing, tear-jerking stories over 30 years of doing this are not 65-year-olds who died. Mm. It's 27-years-olds, 32-years-olds with a brand new baby. And
Dave, I've looked at those folks in the eye.
They got $1 million or they don't.
Yep.
And because of the cost of a pizza.
That's right.
A month. And
they ask you that question.
Term life insurance from Xander is about as noble a product as I know of. It's really important.
It's a safe place to land, man.
Yeah. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In 2021, we are hitting reset. Almost 500,000 of you have now watched the reset event that was done a couple of weeks ago over in Oklahoma City with Chris Hogan, Rachel Cruz, Pastor Craig Crochelle, and me. And you can go watch it at DaveRamsey.com if you want. It's out there. We're still got it sitting there. I think it's still sitting there. And with our Money Reset Bundle, it's easier than ever to create new habits that'll change everything. And you get a 6-month membership to Ramsey Plus. Our best sellers, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, Rachel's new book. My book, The Total Money Makeover, sold 8 million copies. A couple people read that one. And here's the kicker. Every Ramsey Plus membership now includes free federal classic e-file for your taxes through Ramsey Smart Tax. Whoa. Ramsey Plus members get free Ramsey Smart Tax to file your taxes.
I'm using that this year for my family.
Boom. There you go. You can get your money and get your taxes right. It's $167 value, this bundle. All this stuff bundled together, the books, the Smart Tax, the whole thing. Ramsey Plus, $85 for 6 months. Wow. Decide on a Total Money Makeover reset right now. Go to moneyresetbundle.com. moneyresetbundle.com. $167 value, half off at $85. There you go. Christina is with us in Nebraska. Hi, Christina. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can we help?
So my husband and I are finishing up baby step 3 on February 10th. And I've been listening to a lot of videos with you and Chris Hogan talking about how you kind of take your foot off the gas on baby steps 4 through 6. But I don't really feel like mentally I've changed with my spending habits and everything. I'm an emotional spender. And even though I was able to have self-control through baby steps 1, 2, and 3, I don't feel like I've changed much. So how do I take my foot off the gas but kind of keep focused and keep my head in the game of
That's a really smart question. And you've done really well. How much debt have you paid off?
We paid off $32,800.
How long did it take you?
10.5 months.
How much?
10.5 months.
10.5 months. So you've been working on it almost a year. All right. And you said so you're married?
Correct. And we're finishing up baby step 3, so it's actually been 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, good. And so you've got each other holding each other accountable. And are you doing your written budget? I bet you are.
Yes. I'm using the Every Dollar app, and he's using Microsoft Money, but we kind of sync them up.
Okay. But the two of you have a game plan that both of you are aware of, and you're holding yourself and each other accountable for sticking to the game plan that we lay down on paper, right?
Correct. Him more so. He's the saver, and I'm the spender. So him more so. He keeps us in the game for now.
Okay.
So, Christina, and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Christina, I am not a person who can take my foot off the gas. And I've got to you can't sprint forever. So let me say it this way. I have to have boundaries that I set up in my life because I'm like you. I get fired up about something. I need to go buy a new thing of whatever. I want to make sure if the apocalypse happens that we're covered. So my wife and I have some agreements. I get cash. I'm still pretty old school when it comes to that. I've got cash. And we both use that Every Dollar app. We've got some things that set up for me just because I know I'm impulsive. And sometimes I'm in my 40s now. Fighting the impulsivity gets exhausting, so I set up boundaries that make it impossible for me.
Taking your foot off the gas does not mean you go back to your old ways. And it doesn't mean you don't continue to do a budget, and it doesn't mean you don't stick to it. And
it means you go out to dinner, right?
And it doesn't mean that you aren't accountable to your husband. He's not accountable to you for the plan. All it means is the level of sacrifice is lightened. The intensity of beans and rice and beans, no vacations, no eating out, and no buying anything is lightened up, and you give yourself permission to have a little bit of wiggle room now in the budget to accomplish some other things now that you've got the emergency fund and now that you've got the other. I think it would be really helpful for you all to get on the same budgeting system. I think it's a mistake that you're not.
Okay.
Because I think the two of you then are going to get more in sync. You're sort of in sync. Like you build the thing out and then you combine them, but then you walk back off into two different rooms and run your lives. And that leaves you vulnerable to your spending habit, and he looks like the hero to his savings habit. And I think you're in his life so he has more fun. That's why the spender's there.
and he's
in your life so you have more to eat.
And you have electricity, right? Yes.
And I think you guys, this patchwork thing where you once a month you sit down together and you combine your thing and then you walk off and each of you do your own thing. I think that's leaving you vulnerable, and I think that's part of where your fear is coming from, is because you're only having to deal with you.
Right.
But when you're both on Every Dollar together and you both have it on your phone and you both know where everything's going, and every time a debit card is swiped, it shows up, ding, ding, right there.
Nowhere to hide, man.
And it's all just full disclosure, full transparency. It's either on the plan, it's not on the plan, and it's either what we agreed to or not. I can go buy, if there's money in there for clothing and you go buy some clothing, it shows up, and that's fine because it was in the plan.
Right.
If there's money in there for food and you go buy some food and it shows up in there, that's fine. But we're not going to just go off the radar and buy something to prepare for the zombie apocalypse or something.
And Rachel talks about that in her book. Despite being a best-selling author and talking about this for years and years, she still has a tendency to want to go spend some stuff, right? So I think that
you allocate for that. You can do it.
That's exactly right.
But you just do it in full disclosure and as a part of a whole.
Right. And I think I'm hearing Christina say I got to the end of this and I was hoping all of my innate default settings were just going to go away and be healed by being debt-free. No,
they're not.
You're going to sleep deeper, right?
They're not. But, I'm a spender, but now I spend on purpose as a part of an overall plan that doesn't bring destruction to my house.
Right. That's exactly right.
And if you say I'm a saver, that's great. You save on purpose while still allocating some money for your family to actually have shoes.
For life, right? That's right. Yes.
Not
another roll of duct tape.
Exactly. That's it. That kind of stuff. You cheapskate. So that kind of so these are tendencies. Rachel talks about the tendencies, and either extreme on the tendency is where it's toxic.
Right.
It's not you're right if you're a spender, you're wrong if you're a spender, you're right if you're a saver, you're wrong if you're a saver. That's not the point. And so the whole idea then is laid out. So I think if you guys will start working together on one system and have there's more touch points through the month where two sets of eyes are on everything that's happening all month, then he's going to get the benefit of you causing you all to have a higher quality lifestyle with your spending tendency, and you're going to get the benefit of the stability of his savings tendency. And Larry Burkett used to say, if two people just like get married, one of you is unnecessary. So opposites should attract. They do attract, and they should.
And Christina needs to not beat herself up for
being a spender.
For having
I'm a proud spender.
Some stress in her life, and then reaching, and then that's when you've got a plan. That's when you've got accountability. That's when you got someone else in your life. Y'all got a routine together, and don't beat yourself up for it, right? It's not you're not broken, Christina.
Yeah, Craig Rochelle said the other night, he said, just say, no, I'm in training.
Ooh, I like that.
No, I'm in training. Can't do that, I'm in training. And it changes the vernacular. I mean, when you change just the words, it changes the way you feel about it. I can't do that, I'm in training.
Yeah. I got a marathon I got to train for.
It's inconsistent with my goals.
Yeah, I like that.
And that the saver and the spender can both do that.
That's right.
That's a verbiage you can use. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today. Carlos and Claudia are with us in El Paso, Texas. Hey, guys, I see on my screen you're debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, we are. We're so excited.
Whoop, whoop. How much have you paid off?
Well, we paid off our final debt, which was our mortgage, $48,000 in 8 months.
Yes.
Talking to weird people. No debt, no mortgage, no nothing.
That's right.
And how long did it take, you said? 48,000 and what?
8 months.
8 months. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 100,000 combined, but we're up to 150 now.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a public relations specialist.
Excellent. Good for you guys. So well done. So how old are you two?
I just turned 50. Just celebrated the big 5-0.
And I'm 47.
And you have a paid-for house?
Yes, sir.
That feels weird, doesn't it?
It feels awesome.
Yeah. Not going to lie, it's awesome.
I'm so proud of you guys.
That's
What's the house worth?
About $250,000.
Boom, boom. Just like that. Wow. I love it, man. I love it. What inspired you all to do this starting 8 months ago?
Well, we were very gazelle intense, Dave, steps 1 through 5, but for some reason we went more toward a speed with our mortgage. We were still sending double payments. We refinanced our 30-year loan to a 10-year, 5 years into the loan because we realized we had made a mistake. But then we got a sudden run from the cheetah fever in the past 8 months, so we were sending thousands a month. I think our final payment was like 18 or 19,000.
Good Lord.
There's nothing like a nurse coming home every day saying, we should probably pick this one up, Carlos. Let's do that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, a little COVID scare drive some of this?
Well, my job status didn't change. Obviously, there was a lot of work for me, but we decided, you know what, if we're not going to do it now, why not? Let's just go for it. So, Carlos picked up actually a part-time job at FedEx, working nights and working in the weekends and Saturdays. And so, of course, I was going to be on board with that. So we just went with it.
You just jacked up and went. Wow.
Yes, we tightened the budget, started eating rice and beans and rice, and we got real aggressive with it.
So while other people are wandering around in the street like zombie apocalypse right now with the COVID stuff going on, you guys took extra jobs and worked more and paid off your house in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes, correct.
And I see 2 kids in the picture here. How old are they?
They are 22 and 20 years old, and they are FPU graduates. Wow. They are debt-free. They have emergency fund. They're saving for retirement, and they're going to graduate without a single debt of college debt. They're seniors already in college.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, dude, man.
And you guys have changed your family tree. You're amazing.
Yes.
Wow. Are you guys the first ones in your family? Are you the first generation to do this?
Yes, sir. Yeah, a pastor actually gave us your book, the Total Money Makeover, as a housewarming gift. Greatest gift he could have ever given us.
Wow. That's so very neat.
Yes.
Well, I'm proud of you guys. What do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
Well, we coordinate FPU at our church, which is Hope City in El Paso, Texas. They saw how aggressive we were with our debt, so they said, you guys should be coordinated at our church. And so we tell the students that go through the class with us is do the little part, and God's going to reward and bless the rest. The Bible says that, you be faithful with a little bit, and I'll take care of the rest.
Amen.
And we've seen it with our student, the people that go through the class with us, they apply for jobs and they get not just 1, but 2 or 3 extra side gigs. So we've seen the blessing time and time again in their lives.
Wow.
So that's the lesson we've learned.
Excellent. So what was the hardest part of this for you guys?
Actually, for me, I'm a lot like Sharon, your wife. Like, I'd rather just have the money sitting there, kind of a security thing. So for me, the hardest thing was applying it appropriately, applying our savings appropriately, which was to pay off our debt. So that was a challenge for me, but thank God for my hubby here that encouraged me to follow the recommendations as they are.
Yeah. Wow. Well, well done.
You wish.
Well done, you guys. So proud of you. We got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. Without a doubt, you are on track to be that. Maybe the first in your lineage to do that as well. And I'm so proud of you guys. Very well done. All right, Carlos and Claudia, house and everything, baby. Woo! $48,000 in 8 months, making $100 to $150. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah!
So awesome. So awesome.
Man.
So awesome. So awesome.
So, you're out there listening to those two with a paid-for home, why not you?
Two 20-year-old kids that have no debt.
Paid for everything. Everything's paid for. College is paid for. Everything's paid for.
They're already retirement. They've already got emergency funds.
Great place to go when you're broke, to work.
They're going to be able to put you in a real nice home when the time comes, right? Wow. Why not you?
Yeah. You're riding along the interstate right this second listening to this. Yeah, you. It's your turn.
You can.
It's your turn. People do it all the time. And people that aren't as pretty or as smart as you are.
Man, can you imagine being a PR executive? Your wife's exhausted after, coming home from being a nurse every day, and you look at each other and say, let's do it.
I'm going to FedEx.
I'm going to FedEx. And I'm going to get home from my PR job, take off this tie. I'm going to put on that little uniform they have. I'm going to get in a truck, and I'm going to do it until I can't move my arms and legs. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to do it on Saturday. I'm going to do it on Sunday. And then I'm going to get up and do my PR job again.
Work like no one else, and now what you do?
I got nothing.
Work like no one else. You work when you want to.
You know what he's doing tonight? Those feet are going to be propped up.
Anything he wants.
Man. Wow.
That's how you do it.
So cool.
Yeah. That's what it'd be like if you had no credit cards or medical bills or student loans or car payments, and you'd feel completely different. And we're going to help you. The Ramsey Plus Money Reset is all right there. We're going to walk with you day by day and show you exactly what to do for the first 90 days, because there's no one ever regrets a fast start. All in. Pay off your debts fast. Finally saving for emergencies. The Ramsey Plus daily small wins with your money add up to really big ones. And we're going to show you exactly what to do with Financial Peace University in there. We're going to show you exactly what to do with the Every Dollar Budget in there. We're going to show you exactly what to do with the Baby Steps Tracker, the Ask a Coach, the communities that you're in. This is a massive movement, and it is it's changing everything. So you can just decide. That's all they did. They just decided. And you can go all in for 90 days and take control of your money. Make today day one. You can do a free trial at Ramsey Plus. Just go to daveramsey.com/reset. Do the free trial. Just get in there and you can see all the stuff I'm talking about. It's unbelievably robust. It's high quality. You're going to be going, where has this been? Well, now that you've decided, things like this are going to show up all around you. But you have to decide. You have to decide. And you have to decide you can do it just like Carlos and Claudia did it.
And somebody right now is driving, and you're thinking, I think Dave's talking to me. He is. He's talking to you.
You. Yep,
Go home and have this hard conversation with your husband, with your wife, with your girlfriend, boyfriend. Decide.
DaveRamsey.com/reset for the free trial.
Do it.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Timothy 6:12, fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called and about which you made the good confession in the presence of many witnesses. Jennifer Granholm said, sometimes leadership is planting trees under whose shade you'll never sit.
That's one of my favorite quotes in the whole wide world. I think all of us are in a season right now. The country needs us to be about planting seeds.
Plant some trees
of fruit we will never eat.
We will never sit on.
For our grandkids, man. But man, I love that.
I was actually on a flight with a guy who's people that are fifth generation, fourth generation wealthy people intrigue me because there's so few of them.
Right.
Most of the wealthy people in our country are first generation wealthy. And so we're riding along, and of course I'm reading a CIA spy novel.
Right.
And this friend of mine who is now these days he's at like 80 years old. He just turned 80, as a matter of fact. Has a PhD in economics from Cambridge, and he's reading a book on a math formula, a math problem that's never been solved. So I'm reading a spy novel, and this is like, I got a comic book, right? And this guy's got this. So
Dave's coloring.
This just sets up the dadgum thing right here.
He's got colors.
So finally he puts his book down. He says, "So Ramsey, what are you investing in?" And I said, "Well, I buy mutual funds, and I do that." I said, "What are you investing in?" And he said, "Well, that's just so nouveau riche. I mean, that's just new rich. What you're doing, you're just new rich." And
so he's basically patting you on the head, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has been the entire thing. The way he walks, the way he talks, what he reads. I mean, everything's patting me on the head. The whole thing is ridiculous. But I'm just so intrigued with the guy because he grew up wealthy. His grandpa was wealthy. His great grandpa was wealthy. I mean, he's been wealthy a long time, and so he can call me that because it's true.
Well, of course,
I'm wealthy, but I'm first generation, right? And so it's accurate, and I've got a different mindset than he has. And his point was, he said, when you grow up like I do, he goes, you think about things generationally always. And he said, I just bought 6,000 acres in Kentucky, and we just planted 1.5 million pine trees on them.
Wow. So he's
and I
investing for his
said,
grandkids.
You're 80.
Huh? Yeah.
And he said, yeah, you know how much of a lumber shortage there's going to be in 100 years in America? And you know how wealthy my great-grandkids are going to be off of that one decision? Wow. In addition to the other family wealth?
Man.
Off of that one decision. So he's anticipating a lumber shortage 100 years from now, and he's 80.
Right.
And putting little bitty pine trees in the ground.
Yeah.
1 million of them on 6,000 acres, right? Wow. And it's like...
That's legitimately planting seeds.
That's fascinating to me.
Planting trees.
The point is, you think differently about money. It causes you to do things differently.
But I think you can also do that with character, right?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say this in this way. I'm gonna model this for my son, and one day our grandkids are gonna live differently.
Yeah.
With
integrity. Change your family tree in terms of behaviors. Yeah. Absolutely. Alexandra is with us in Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, Alexandra, how are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
I have kind of a decision that I'm facing. So basically, my husband and I have made some poor choices over 2 years in terms of like financial decisions. And then pandemic hit and we both lost our jobs. Since then, we've recovered and we kind of had a very hard conversation about like how to make us not so vulnerable again, because we almost lost our house and we have 2 kids. So I started on your program, and I'm using Every Dollar app as of early October last year. And we were managed to kind of get through $17,342 worth of debt.
Good.
So we have no more credit card debt. There is no car debt anymore.
Good.
Medical bills are paid for.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah, we've been very aggressive, so we haven't really been doing much. Like, we haven't been on vacation, we haven't gone out, or we've gone out once, but
So how long did it take you to pay off $17,000?
So the first payments we started making mid-October.
Since October? So in 4 months, you did $17,000?
Yes, we did.
You went from both being unemployed, we're about to lose our house where our baby's going to sleep, to now we have no credit card debt, no car debt, no medical debt.
Yes, sir.
It's incredible.
What's your household income?
So we went back to work. My husband went back to work at the end of September. I went back to work at the end of November.
Yeah, but what's your household income a year now?
Right now, it's $210,000.
Yay. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, so we ended up kind of like going through all of our accounts, and we found out that we were behind on tax payments. So we had some back taxes, which we are tackling this month, and it's going to be done. But I just have a little bit of trouble planning for kind of going forward. So we have both of the jobs offer us 401k for retirement with a 3% match. But at the same time, we also want to kind of continue being very aggressive in the way that we tackle debt. And I sort of, and we also have student loans.
Oh, how much are your student loans?
Together, it's $150,000 between me and my husband.
Okay. Well, you got a ways to go then. You just got to finish those up.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, if we should invest in our retirement and pay. No. Okay.
No. You said you're going to follow the plan.
Crush them.
Everything you've been doing has been following the plan. And then you almost fell off the wagon just now, and we grabbed your hand. Don't fall off the wagon.
Remember, you were smart, and then the pandemic hit, and then you realized we're not smart. Let's get a plan. And then you got a plan, and now you're starting to get too smart again. Go back to the plan.
Well, it just feels like if we don't, because our company offers 401k, it just feels like we're going to be missing out on money.
It's time to get rid of your student loans.
Okay.
They're going to be there the rest of your freaking life if you keep talking like this.
Okay, so we should just opt out of the company 401k.
Yes, you should opt out. You should stop that. Do you have any money in savings?
We first got the first savings batch. We did based on your plan, which is $1,000 in cash. We set it aside, but this is the first month that we've done it.
Okay, and do you have any other money that is not in a retirement account?
No.
Okay, all right. So you make $200,000 a year. And you have been averaging about $4,000 a month as you've gotten this jet off the ground, and now you're going to start averaging more than that because you need to be putting $100,000 a year. I want you to be done with these student loans in 18 months.
Okay.
That's $5,000 a month.
Okay. Yeah, that's still like super aggressive, and I feel like we're just like. We're home and we aren't doing much. And I kind of feel like I want to save some money for retirement.
How
and
old
get
are you?
My kids into activity.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay. In 18 months, you're not going to ever have a student loan again. Or you're going to keep arguing with me, which you've been doing for 5 minutes, about investing in your stupid 401k. You need to finish this. You need to finish this. You need to finish this. 18 more months is not going to mean that you don't retire wealthy because you didn't start your 401k to 33 instead of 31. Crap. A year ago, you weren't doing anything in your 401k anyway, and you were broke and deeply in debt. Remember how dumb and how bad. Don't do it again. 18 months. You can do this. And quit arguing with me about your stupid 401k.
If you want your kids to have activities,
that's fine.
Go be with them.
Well, that's fine. Kids can have activities. You make $200,000 a year. Right. I'm just putting $60,000 of that. That's all.
That's it.
$5,000 a month. You can do this.
You can do it, man. But Dave, it's hard. I'm tired. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Don't argue with the thing. Don't argue with what millions of people have used that work. Don't argue with it. Quit fixing a plan that ain't broke. Thanks, James Childs and Kelly in the booth. Great show today, John. Well done. We'll be back with you guys before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.